This is Truth Be Told.
That not only are there reptilians here,
new evidence of UFO fleets.
We were close to nuclear war.
To help you transform so that you can live your highest truth.
We're not being told just because we're not ready for it.
Radio stations of frequency, vibrational.
I was a homicide detective with LAPD.
UFOs increase. Visitations. Good witches, evil witches, white witch, wicked witch of the east and the south, Elphaba. Many people think that any witchcraft is evil, but today we're going to prove you wrong and get the Halloween season started off with a bang. You'll be spellbound. We have back with us in studio every Halloween season, TV personality, white witch, psychic medium, Patti Negri is here with us to answer all your questions. So let's get this Halloween season started. I'm Tony Sweet with Truth Be Told. Please welcome back to the Truth Be Told studios for the manyth time, White Witch Patti Negri. It's Patti! Hi, Patti.
Hey, Tony. Thank you so much for that beautiful entrance. I love the crowd you bring in. It's fabulous.
It just nobody ever shows up, but only when you're here.
Yeah, it's good. That's nice. They were having trouble parking.
Right. Well, first of all, congratulations on your podcast doing amazingly well.
Thank you. Yes.
Number one on what was it?
On natural sciences, and then in other sciences, and then in spirituality, and so it was number one and number 5. That's amazing to me. So I want to thank everybody who listens. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. So thank you. I'm just trying to keep up with you, Tony.
Oh, please,
just
no.
trying to keep up with you.
You're beyond my expertise. I just want to be a Patti when I grow up. Well, first of all, every Halloween season we ask Patti back because even if we talk about things we've talked about before, it's so interesting because the knowledge and the experience and the I was going to say years of experience, but
you can say years.
But you have such a positive light on everything you talk about, because witchcraft can be known as a negative entity, force, demonic, all these things.
Yeah.
But you really bring light to what witchcraft can be.
Yes, I mean, because it is. I mean, it can be anything. Anything could be anything.
Right.
Christianity could be evil. Judaism could be evil.
Right.
But witchcraft, the one thing about it, though, is that we have to take responsibility for it. So if you're taking responsibility for your actions, for your everything, it's you're a little more careful. You can't just get forgiven by, hop on one foot 3 times, dunk in the water, and 3 Hail Marys. No, cause and effect, action and reaction. So.
And living in California, I mean, we're around a lot of people that are into more of the spirituality realm than more of the religious realm, at least in this area that we live in. We're going to go back a little bit and we'll talk about what's, Halloween season is like, but how did you necessarily get involved in becoming a quote witch?
I think I was actually born this way. I was born this way. As far as like the medium psychic part, I was talking to dead people since I could talk. The little so-called imaginary friends under the bed weren't imaginary. They gave me information. They're going to tell me what's going to happen tomorrow. And on the witchy side of things, it was, I would be in my little suburban Long Beach backyard just picking these weird plants and putting with these different kind of dirts and stuffing it in my mom's wallet, knowing it would give her more money.
Oh.
And it was rosemary and mint. And she didn't quite understand that. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, no, it's money. And then years later, I'm studying like apothecary and herbs. Yeah, those things have the attributes of money. So I think it's just in the blood. When people say, oh, blood witch and hereditary witch, I think it really is.
Really?
And whether you use the word witch or not, I think early man, we had it. We've just lost a lot of our natural instincts and intuitions in modern times. So the one good thing about a witchcraft path, or can be, is that we get back in touch with kind of nature, our own nature, our planet nature.
And we need more of that now.
Oh my gosh.
Ever. Well, speaking of that, a lot of witchcraft and pagan and all this stuff, a lot of times people don't know that a lot of our holidays revolve around paganism and sometimes even witchcraft, history of witchcraft.
Pretty much all of them.
Yeah. But why do you think it evolved from this, and then now it's become such a negative look on witchcraft when you're like, well, like Christmas, it's a lot of that was
Christmas
from,
is Yule, yeah. Easter is Ostara. It's about, we celebrate in the pagan path.
Right.
It's everything done by season because they were early people. It's you're going into the winter, you have to go in, you got to survive, you got to make it through. Oh, spring's coming, yay! Let's celebrate and dance around a maypole, and the veil is thin in October, Samhain, Halloween. That's why you would dress up and try to confuse the bad spirits. I think what Christianity and all religions do it, in a sense, is when this new religion came in, they wanted to for the people to, like, as a good sales, not get rid of them. It's like they wouldn't understand this new thing, so they literally kind of put, well, let's put the holiday by that. It's sort of the same, and it is sort of the same. Oh, it's Ostara, the rising of Christ. It's the bringing of the light. Oh, the bringing of the light pagan holiday is Ostara. It's this. So the stories are the same, the names have been changed. And if you look at the truth of things, because I do study religion and philosophy, everybody has the same story. They have the half man, the half God. They have the guy hanging on the tree. It's not just Jesus. We have Odin. We have everything. If you just put the energy behind it, or the meaning, or the story, or the parable behind it, it kind of doesn't matter what you pick. And I think if you look at, say, Christ, if you look at Jesus or any of the other masters, he didn't teach the crazy stuff. It's humans got involved and said, oh no, we want to control things, and we want to control things, so let's do that. No, that's bad. And no, that's bad, so don't do that, because you have to do what we tell you. That's why they took, like, reincarnation out of Christianity, I think in the 1500s. They just started doing all this stuff to control people. So my secret to things is anybody who says something is bad just means it's probably powerful. Like, besides, a religion or a belief system where you have power, or a black cat, or the number 13, or breaking a mirror, or, walking under a ladder. All these things, they're not bad at all. They're powerful, and they could be really, really good. A broken mirror is amazing in a protective bottle or something. So it's
interesting.
Whoever they are, those who want to control us, say, ooh, that's powerful, take it away or make it evil. And that's truth of witchcraft.
I find that fascinating because superstitions, such as walking under a ladder, to this day, if I see a black cat, I'm okay. But walking under a ladder, I will walk around it. And it is funny how that triggers in your mind that it is bad, that your day's something bad is going to happen. But that is almost like, what is it called when you put out to the universe?
Oh, yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
We do that every day. Yeah,
so,
all the time. Like, I'm going to be late. Well, you just made yourself late, or
right.
put a curse on you. It's like, nobody put a curse on you. Right. You just created it yourself because you thought they were going to.
Because for many years, I would say, am I cursed? Because did I a wrong family, or did I this, and you're like, but then after you get a little older, sometimes, not everybody gets this way, but I'm like, being around people like you are like, no, this is something that I pretty much put on myself. Yeah. It's a lot of pressure to say, oh, just because I had one bad day, that doesn't mean I'm cursed.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
You're not cursed.
No, I am not cursed. And everybody listening, you're not cursed.
You're not cursed. And 99.9% of people who truly think they have a curse do not have a curse. You've created it yourself. And if you go to some psychic or medium who tells you you have a curse, just run. Because, again, if you think you have a curse, just get a lemon, slice it, do some salt on it, and you get rid of it. You don't need it. The millions of dollars they want to charge you to get rid of a curse.
Right. For the people in the chat room, if you want to ask questions to Miss Patti, please put it in the chat room. I'll ask directly from you. As everybody knows, we're in Halloween season, already the second week of October. Patti is one of those busy ladies all year around, but during the Halloween season, I'm sure you were packed.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to put this on you, but I wanted to ask you to explain about a seance. Okay. Because I know that's something that you do. You've had amazing luck with it. A lot of people are like, oh, this is not real. I want you to explain what a seance is, and how does one either join a seance like yours, or even if they wanted to do it on their own? Is it safe?
Okay, it certainly can be safe, and it doesn't have to. This is our realm of existence. I can't say that enough. The other side really does, in my belief system, since I have to play by our side. So if you see somebody get all possessed and they've allowed that to happen, mostly probably because they gave up their power. They didn't know they have to. Unless you have a severe addiction problem or mental imbalance, that's a different story because that could take over. But otherwise, it just something comes in that you don't like. You go, no, you can't. In the name of whatever, the name of God, in the name of your cat, in the name of your Louboutin shoes. It's like, no, you don't want to say it with anger, and you don't want to say it with fear. You want to say it like a disciplined parent or a teacher. Nope, my house, my body, my this, you're out. And guess what? They go. I go into the scariest and darkest of places, and I'm one who will channel the all that because I know how and what I'm doing. But what a seance is, they've been done forever, and what the style that I do and what we see as a modern seance started heavily with the spiritualist side. And let me go there, and then I'll come back.
Yeah, please.
When times are scary, people want to go to religion or belief system, and traditionally they would go back to church or temple or whatever it is. That's not keeping up for everybody. Some people, it's like, what I grew up with isn't working. I don't fit into that thing. So then they're discovering other kind of spirituality or new age or pagan ways, old ways, new ways, middle ways. And those people who I don't want religion and I don't want spirituality, but I need to know there's something more than this, more than I see on my TV every day.
Right.
They're getting into the paranormal. They're becoming like ghost hunters and this and that because they want to know there's more. And it's like, then they discover there is more. And then they often will backdoor into some kind of a belief system that serves them.
That makes sense.
But the same thing happened with seances and in the spiritualist age, like the 1800s, middle and late 1800s. Times were scary because times have always been scary. It's just that we didn't always have TikTok, Instagram, 24/7 news to know how scary it was. But they were scary then too, and wars. So people wanted to talk to the other side. So this whole spiritualist movement came on, and religion. Kind of a Christian, but we talk to ghosts. We do seances. My style is very much like that, even though I had never seen one when I was 7 years old and started doing this. I must have been there then too. But what a seance is literally whatever form you're doing it, we lift the veil so we can talk to the spirit world. We have our world, our three-dimensional, gravity-ridden, well, nothing solid. We know that 7th grade science. Our world, where we go to work and logic counts and time and space exist, and then the other world where everything else exists. Grandma and grandpa and our spirit guides, and angelic realm, and demonic realm, and the nature realm, all this stuff. And when you lift the veil, you go there. And again, that got big in the spiritualists.
Right.
And I just did table tipping for the first time, which was amazing in Vulture City because I didn't know it was going to work. And the table's going like this. I'm like, it works. But so a seance is lifting that veil. I work elementally because I am an elemental witch, but work within your belief system. If you work with your angels and you work with Christ light, you can do that so long as you think it's all right. But set your parameters, what comes in, what doesn't. I wouldn't let just anything in. Same thing like with a Ouija board. You don't just say anybody out there, anybody. You're going to let anybody in your house, serial killers, murderers.
Right.
No, be specific. Only good and light beings, grandmas, people related to me, my ancestry, those who with good intent, if nothing else. Until you're real experienced and you're on Ghost Adventures or something, and you got to do a serial killer because that's what TV wants. But it's finding a way, and you're around a table to communicate, and you can. Even if you're not a medium, you don't see yourself, that's where you can use divination things. People who use a pendulum or use dowsing rods or a Ouija board.
Right.
And again, those aren't evil. Hollywood made them evil, just like Hollywood witches. You put it on a horror film. It's not just, when they were invented, they were just a communication device, like tarot cards. And people who aren't afraid of a K2 meter or a ghost spot or a thing, but they're afraid of Ouija board, same thing, modern version. Same thing, modern version. Just, it's a doorway to whatever. So you just decide who comes in the door. So even if you have somebody who's gifted or can talk, you have them kind of drive the boat. And if not, you could use tools. You kind of build your energy together, whether it's like 2 of you or 3 of you, 10 of you, 13 around a table. Again, I work elementally. I call in the east winds to blow away any blocks and anything negativity, the fires of the south,
You're the
waters
anchor.
of the west. I'm the anchor, and then I'm working these energies to put their protection around it.
Right.
It's boarding. So then I even say something that's kind of old spiritualist that I got from there's a place where we all go where ne'er the frost or cold winds blow, and friends remembered reunite, and those who hate forget their spite. We gather round these gentle beings. We call you now to bless our meeting. And for the living, these spirits do thrive. And now for the living, may the dead come alive. And then bells always work to call in spirits. Think you have church bells, temple. And with the ringing of this bell, we lift that veil twixt heaven and hell to call the spirits to us now as we make this sacred vow. And you feel it coming up, and you have people I have everybody around the table breathe into it, and then all of a sudden all your senses are stronger, even your regular sight and smell and taste, and help people. And then all of a sudden you're able to see things, not just the medium, but when the door is opened up, whether some people see and some people hear and some people just feel, some people get the goosebumps, and it's beautiful. Spirits love it. Because spirits are almost always okay. In all my experiences, they're not stuck. They're not there. They just like hanging out. You know?
Right.
There is some that are stuck in the insane asylum, whatever, but grandma wants to watch the kids grow up. They're hanging from the chandelier at the Hollywood Roosevelt because it's fun. So what we get out of it is information. And I've literally got everything from iPhone codes from spirits to where's the will. Yeah.
Wow.
This beautiful young guy died, illness, leaving a young wife and a kid. There they sat with the iPhone. Thousands of pictures that she didn't know the code. And this was funny because this was about the same time when I think it made national news. The FBI was trying to get Apple to give them an iPhone code or something, and Apple refused to do it.
Yeah.
I think Apple refused to do it. It's like, well, I should have just talked to a medium and used a Ouija board.
Right.
Because I did that. Here's your code. Opened it up, and there's all the pictures.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So we get information, we get help, we get solace, we get to give up our guilt most of the time. I was so sad because I wasn't there. I didn't call Grandma, and Grandma goes, "It's okay. We had the other 30 years together. I didn't." That's really. But what the spirits get out of it, why it's very win-win, is the spirits get a sense of time and space. They're fine, but they don't really have time and space. They're here, there, and everywhere. When we're doing this, like we're doing right now, but a real conversation, Grandma, are you there? Yes. Even if it's dowsing rods, or you have a K2 meter, or you're using any kind of a device, or just your medium, or a Ouija board, or a chalkboard's my favorite. They get to be real, yes and no. Answer question. They get to have, it's like a titillation of, I'm alive again for a few minutes. So
that's nice.
it's beautiful. They love it.
Yeah. Well, I think when I hear you say that there's certain ways to connect to spirit, why is it there's so many? Because I've heard 1,000 different ways. Is it up to the spirit that chooses the way they want to come through, or is it the actual person like yourself that's just the only way you can experience it?
No, there's two different things. The lifting of the veil, there's different ways. Again, it's like getting from my house to your house. Who's to say one way's better than the other? You could walk, or you could bike, or you could drive. Somebody work within your belief system if you have one. Work within science, binaural beats, whatever. There's a million ways. But speaking with the spirits, it's a language. And again, how I even teach medium in my school is you have to learn your spirit language. Because spirits are going to talk different. It's like, almost like a poker tell. It's like, this one on my left shoulder goes like this. When goosebumps, everybody knows that. That's the thing. But some spirits, and you have to know what your strengths, because we have the clairaudience, clairvoyance. Some people see outside eyes or inside eyes. Sometimes you hear real outside ears or just hear it inside. Taste, smell, just know. I just feel. They're all equally valid. It's not all based on what you see with your eyes. But spirits talk different too. When some spirits come in, they're just emotions. They're speaking through emotions. I can't exactly see what Grandma looks like, but this is what that's her. Some are visual. Some are very almost showing me like pictures and scenes or photos. Some are visual this way, some are that. Some you smell. People a lot get, I smell grandma's perfume, I smell grandpa's thing. So it's learning your language, and then again, a really good medium or the person who's there learns to keep your own belief systems out of the way too. So you could be the good, just like with psychics and mediums, you don't want your belief system, you want to be the best channel you can for whatever grandma's saying or whoever, just to translate it. But there's ways to practice that easy, and I think everybody can really learn and develop that.
Yeah, and I think even myself, Shar Margolis, she's always saying that that she goes, oh, you're very intuitive, and now I believe that I am in a lot of ways. I not necessarily can read somebody's mind or predict what their future is like, but I definitely have a sense of when I watch a show. I even my spouse was like, how do you know that in advance? And I'm like, oh, that's going to happen. And I'm like, I don't know. Or with certain people, I can feel like their energy, like I'm not necessarily want to be around that person, not, more the empath type of thing. Yeah. But like you said, everybody probably has it. They just don't know it.
Don't know it, and it got taught out of us. Yeah. In our modern world, our Western world, it's like, again, your imaginary friend. Oh, that's the and instincts, intuitions, all that.
Imaginary friend.
Yeah, imaginary friend. You just guessed that. No, I just knew that was going to happen.
Right.
And the more you allow that, and the more you learn to shut down that left brain, because the logical brain is what gets us in trouble. You'll have to use it to decipher, maybe, but and that's what I teach people all the time. It's just when you step from our mundane world into that world, logic has to go out the window, everything. And you can't go. I remember once I was doing a seance, and a giraffe went into the room.
I'm giraffe?
Yeah.
Was
in
was
Hollywood.
the ceiling high enough?
Yeah. I have a pretty high ceiling. But I'm like, my left brain could have went, oh, there's nobody here. These are Hollywood people who had a giraffe.
Right.
And had I listened to that left brain side, I wouldn't have said anything. And I go, this may be weird. I go, but a giraffe just came in, and somebody at the table had grown up in like South Africa on some kind of reserve, and I could have not said it had I overthought it. The same thing actually just almost happened to me on TV. And again, this person who teaches this, go with it, don't judge, don't try. I was doing Portals to Hell with Jack Osborne and Katrina Weidman. Yeah. I didn't know where I was going. I never do. And they flew me to Memphis, which was fun. Never been there. And I went to a building which I didn't know. It was some famous, I don't even remember now, some like music club. But whatever we were doing, all of a sudden this like thing flew in front of me. And my left brain kind of kicked in because it was like a bird, like a spirit bird. I've never had that before. and I don't remember if it was Jack or Katrina. They go, what was that? My left brain I kind of like threw it away. I go, just a bird flew over me. And I almost threw it away, but I said it. At least I had no idea the whole plot line of the show was about this woman's son had died, and then a bird kept coming in, and then some woman who was like, literally, she didn't know if it was a ghost or not. Some woman from nowhere came in and handed her a bird necklace, and she put it on. I had no idea of that. Had I not said the bird, I would have missed it. And even at the end when they do, and this happened, they were playing like the recordings, the paranormal recordings, and Jack's like, what is that? What do you listen to that? What was it? That's a bird. They heard it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But again, we have to just allow, not judge, and trust, and get out of our own way, and then we all get to develop that.
Oh, I love that. And Patty, I'm sure several other trusted psychic mediums or good witches can help with that. We do have several questions, if you don't mind taking a few.
I love it.
All right, so Bonnie said, "What do you think about how mainstream witchcraft has become?"
I love it, actually. I mean, it's not perfect. It isn't, and a lot of witches I know, purists, there's no such thing. Like, oh, what do you mean? It's the Sephora witchcraft line of eyes, or coming off the TV and the hipster. But what I think is that even if you go in back door, if it gives somebody an awareness, like, oh wow, I don't have to be a follower. I could take charge of my life, what witchcraft is really about. Whether you're looking at the religion point of it, I have a female, male deity. I follow the things, I practice a craft. I take the life into my own hands, and I develop, and I work it, and take fate, and willing to do it. But even if some little kid, because they want to look hip and cool, gets whatever, a witchy handbag, if they look even a little and they go, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't have to be a victim. What? I get to take charge. Yay to it. And if it lasts a little while, great. If it comes into something, great. I don't believe in proselytizing, because I think find your own path. But I think it's fine. Just like some of the goofy TV I do, somebody would go, besides not like Ghost Adventures, but like the Awesomeness TV, or we're on Bad Girls Club, or Pit Boss, and all this stuff. It's like, I go, yeah, but this is an audience I wouldn't get to. Again, I don't care if they become a witch, but they're going, you don't have to fight all the time. Why don't we create this over here, and then you don't have to fight? And I keep working with younger and younger people, which makes me so, I started out with my 40-something Ghost Adventure guys. And then I moved, and I still work with my TFIO, my overnight guys, which are 20-somethings. Elton said 30. And then I started working with Awesomeness, which are teens. It's the teen market. And now I'm working with this really cute, just turned 14, Gavin Magnus. But again, they're open, they're not jaded, and just open their eyes to possibility of life. Spirits, even if it's from a goofy, we're going to go in a haunted house or do a seance sleepover, it's like, oh, wow, I can talk to grandma. Oh, wait, it's okay.
Yeah, people, people have really... ancient aliens and ghost hunters and adventures, and all these have really opened, I think, the minds to a lot of the paranormal world, where before it was very taboo and didn't want to talk about it too much, and people looked at you weird, So I think a lot of these TV series have definitely changed the minds of a lot of people.
Yeah. Completely. So, some of it's silly, of course, and some of it's wrong, of course. Some of it's right, of course, but it's making it kind of okay and normal, especially TV stuff, because, again, with the religious right and Christian right, it went through, on my newer podcast, Witches Movie Coven, we talk about movies and witches in movies, and they've been putting witches in movies since the 1800s, since there was movies, and whether it's The Craft or Practical Magic or a bed, whatever, that Bell Book and Candle. There was a time that was very much satanic panic. Everything witchcraft is bad, but that changed. And they, this is even the new Hocus Pocus.
I loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Even the bad witches kind of redeemed themselves, but they showed the girls in the crystal store and being this normal thing. It was like,
and I loved how they gave it the prequel, meaning how they developed to who they were. Being cast out and treated very badly, which put that bad bitter taste in their mouth.
Which happens in life.
So I love that. Well, Mark says, is there an experience you had while conducting a seance that stands out among the rest? Is there like one that just baffled you?
I think the one, and I don't know if I've told it before on your show or not, I think the one that I haven't figured out how to top yet is when somebody burst into flames. Yeah.
That used to be a thing. Like I used to hear, but was that
spontaneous combustion? Yeah, but I didn't think that's like the movie Spinal Tap, the drummer. But no, I was. So the one thing, let me go back to seances. If you're going to do it yourself, respect, RESPECT. You could do it wrong. You could have wrong intent, but everybody wants to be respected. So even now that paranormal people, and this whole ghost hunters have finally learned you don't go in and scream at spirits if you really want them to talk to you. Talk nice, and they'll talk to you. What? So the same thing with seances. But I was with a group of young people. Energy is high with young people, and we were at Marilyn Manson's house, but. And this house, it's in my neighborhood, and it was built by Charlie Chaplin for one of his girlfriends, Mary Astor. She was a movie star too, and it was a party house, drugs and alcohol. We can bring in some dark, weird stuff. It was a party house forever and ever and ever. And then the Rolling Stones manager bought it, and the Rolling Stones stayed there, Mums and Papas, Graham Parsons, and then so it creates creative people. And then they moved out, and the person who invented the real life sex doll moved in, and he even said it was freaky. And then he moved out, and then Marilyn Manson, who was my neighbor for 7 years, moved in, and then he moved out. But the house it looks like it was built by Masons or something. It's like there's literally a compass drawn in the floor.
Oh, really?
Magic
So
was
there
always
was
worked by a
a
compass.
Mason,
And
yeah.
it's like, I don't think it was a Mason, but it was magically built for magic
Okay.
and energy and ritual. There's like, there's a 4-level spiral staircase. Ghosts love spiral staircase. There's like rows, everything that was there. So, but this one, and we just wanted to talk to spirits there. And it wasn't demonic. Demons get way too much credit. 99% of what people think are demons, just cranky ghosts. No, they were cranky in life, and they're cranky now, and then they can throw things. But this one kid was getting a little disrespectful. And so first, kind of cool things were happening. Like the French doors flew open, and I'm like, oh, wow. And on cue, and it's like everybody's screaming, and they closed it. And that happened again. And then the speakers on the floor, old school, when you'd see how big you could get your speakers, came on like white noise. Sounded just like a spirit box. But we looked later, it wasn't even plugged in. But that, and it's building, and I'm feeling the tension building, trying to keep a hold. But we're filming 4-camera shoot, so that's a big shoot. 4-camera shoot, documentary, not a TV show about this house. But we're working a Ouija board. But he said something like really rude and stupid, talking about the ghost. And not him, but the cameraman facing him literally burst into flames.
Oh, my God. Was he okay?
Well, yes. I didn't know so at the time because it looked like angel wings of fire up his back. Everybody's screaming. 2 cameras caught it, so we've got it on camera.
Wow.
1 camera started filming like the ceiling or the floor. I guess you really do test the mettle of a cameraman by a small room with a lot of people bursting into flames.
Right.
And his camera, of course, is facing the wrong way, and he's wondering why people are screaming and pointing at him. And I'm like, drop and roll, drop and roll. Cool witch medium Patty becomes medic Patty, which I am. I'm an EMT. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm calling in all our protectors that I set up to call in to shut it down, shut it down, shut it down.
Wow.
But he was so intrigued. The cameraman, who was a total skeptic, he was like, no, I'm okay. I'm watching the blistering on his face. I'm okay. I'm like, his shirt burnt off him. He's got to have a sweater. I'm like, well, okay. I talked to the spirit, and he was just cranky. He promised he would be good, more or less. I knew the kid who caused it was no longer going to be a problem. He
probably
became
scared
the
him.
choir boy
I'm
in
gonna
the
say
corner.
that probably scared him.
Nope, nothing out of him. So we finished it. But the coolest thing, again, about setting up your protection, work within your belief system, is he showed me 3 weeks later, and this still is my best story. 3 weeks later, he showed me the small of his back where I'd see, and it looked like he had got a tattoo of a dragon. Open mouth, sharp teeth, winged head into the shape of a serpent. That is the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance.
Oh,
I
wow.
work dragon
so the protector
energy.
protected
Yes,
him and
yes,
embedded
because,
on him.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah, I work with dragons. I called in dragons. They live at the crossroads. They can fly from heaven to earth. Again, they get a bad rap, but that's because they're powerful, not bad. I have dragon, and I'm looking at his back, and I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon on your back. That is the coolest thing I have ever seen, and he thought so too. So, and he wrote, they haven't done it yet, and I hope they do, and they may never. He wrote a film about a TV psychic who did every TV show and yet another reality show, and then a portal opened. And then it becomes a big, scary, funny, I like funny, scary, horror film. He actually wrote it with Stephen Norrington, the guy who wrote League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and the Blade series. Yeah. So if they ever do it, I hope somebody fabulous plays me. But anyway, but I did sit with him. So do be careful of this, all you YouTubers and internet out there. I sat down with him for 5 hours, and I go, Laurent, you can't say that. He's like, but you said that. I go, I know I said that. That's a sound. That's a word that opens something. You don't want to be one of those cursed horror films, do you? Because it happens all the time.
Oh, you've seen. We were talking earlier about like The Exorcist, Poltergeist.
Yes.
You know,
happens all the time. Spirit, energy, ghost, good or bad, does not know the difference of an actor reading the lines, especially a method act reading the lines and really doing it. If you're saying, open the gates to hell in some
right.
They're going to open the gates to hell. You don't want a movie where all your actors, get in a car accident
Right.
at 27.
Right.
So I sat down, I changed all the words. They sound just as scary, but they're not going to do anything. So movies or TV that bring in somebody who knows what they're doing are really smart. And people really are starting to do that now, going, okay, no portals to hell opened, even if that's the name of your show.
Right. Yeah, so people out there, just be careful. Well, we have tons of people. Actually, explain elemental witch.
Okay,
I don't even, what is that one?
Okay, well, there's lots of kind of witch, and I just use that because I work elementally, which means air and fire and water and earth. Like Native Americans, like any shamanic people, like Peruvian shamans. That's what the pentagram, the 5 is start: air, fire, water, earth, and spirit. Right. Elements, I work elements like you're doing a spell crafting. Earth is grounding. It's the earth. It's if you put it into your body, it's who you are, your persona, your home. It's the strength of a rock, the wisdom and strength of a tree. Your fire is passion, creativity, love, sex, God, everything that keeps our heart beating. And that's the north and south. In an elemental compass, everything works a compass. There could be an air compass, so it could be a spirit base. Air compass, who you are and what drives you. This is Tony. He's this kind of guy, nice guy, great guy, funny. And the passion that drives you, north and south. But where we get off balance almost always is west and east. West is our water. It's our emotion, almost 60% of our body.
Right.
Water is also the mist of the ancestors, the flow of things, emotion. Air stands for intelligence, organization, our thought pattern thinking. So even like in my 30-second excerpt, who you are, what drives you, your emotions and thoughts. Where do we usually get mostly messed up? Our emotions and thoughts. What do we need more than anything? Water and air. But at elemental words, it works with those seasons, the 8 seasons, the spring equinox, the solstices, the other 4 holidays like Yule, which is or Easter or Stara are in between those equinoxes. But if you're doing a spell working, you want, okay, I'm doing, say, a love spell. So for grounding, I need to, let's do red in a candle for the passion. Ooh, a rose petals, that's love. Ooh, let's do it on Friday. So it's literally like baking or cooking, but you're working, bringing those elements. Somebody else might be spirit-based or deity-based. If you put air in the north, you're spirit-based. So it's spirit of air, spirit of fire, spirit of earth, spirit of whatever I missed, water, air.
Right.
And here it's earth of air, fire. So that's what elemental means. People, there's hedge witch. Now there's a million names. You know, of course, Wicca is that very new that came in the 50s. I'm Wiccan, and that's the goddess religion, which is great. And that's how it got big in the 70s and 80s. There's ceremonial magicians, there's traditional magicians, and now there's hedge witches where you ride between the worlds. There's garden witches, kitchen witches, most eclectic. I'm very eclectic because I'll do chaos magic, I'll do elemental because magic is magic, love is love, life is life, energy is energy. But I always say elemental because I almost always work. We are on Earth right now. No matter how heavenly we think we may be, we are on Earth. And what we were saying at the very beginning, I think we need our eyes on Earth right now. We need to. So when people are discovering this, like when you're going to go and you go do it in the woods or a park, leave it the way it is. Respect that tree. And I think that's also why people are more sightings of fairies again. They've always been there. Even people who don't believe in stuff like that, it's like, I'm seeing gnomes. Yeah, we need to get our eyes back here. Eyes back here to save this little planet of ours. It's the spirit in the tree has always been there. Look at it. The Kabbalistic, the tree of life, every religion. So elemental witch means I work with these elements of earth. Yes, I work with deity. Yes, I work with everything that's going up this direction as well, but I'm really based here.
I love that. And people are saying great, you explained it very well. They loved it. You know, I agree. You know, our planet, for me, it's when I was growing up, we were hunters, but we hunted for food. We didn't hunt for sport. You know, it was never one of those things that we just said, oh, we got the biggest deer. It was like we ate the deer. We used the skin. We, you know, save the horn, or for whatever. My brother used to carve like little things out of it. But it's like a tree. For me, it's like if you cut a tree down, you plant another one. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of what we do now, we just cut down and just never replace it. And I think, you know, it is getting imbalanced of there's more take than giving. And the ones to suffer is going to be us. Exactly.
Us.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is if you destroy your home, you don't have one. And we all can't go to Mars with whoever's creating all those Mars rovers. Right.
Elon Musk and his adventures. You know, it is the Halloween season, and how does one prepare? I mean, for you, Halloween is kind of all year round because, that's what you do. You contact spirits and, your rituals are fairly all year round. But how does one really prepare for Halloween? And do we need to prepare for Halloween?
I don't know if you need to prepare for it. Halloween is what we've termed this modern holiday. It's based on Samhain.
Right.
Samhain, but the M is an H, Samhain. And what it is the day when the veil between the worlds is the thinnest, and it's a day to celebrate the dead, our ancestors, the beloved dead. It coincides right there with Dia de los Muertos in the Latin culture, celebrating the dead and the ancestors, or even now with All Saints Day, whatever they figured out. It's us celebrating them. Where Halloween came from, again, the carved pumpkins, which in Europe were carved, they didn't have pumpkins, carved turnips, were to scare away the bad spirits. You put on funny costumes and things to scare away the bad spirits. Right. But it's really about celebrating our ancestors. So how I prepare, that's the time to put out the picture of Grandma and light a candle. Okay. To think about, sit around the house and let's tell stories of when we were kids. That's what it is. Yeah. It's that ancestors. I mean, there's some beautiful, especially here in LA and probably anywhere now because it is popular, some beautiful public rituals, and it's where you raise that energy. And somebody will be calling off the name of Fred Jones, naming those ancestors. We've done one workplace I work. There's like a 50-foot altar where there's incense going and candles and everybody's picture of their beloved dead. Yeah. And that's what it is to celebrate. It can get into the philosophy and the stories of it all. That's when the horsemen go out and collect the dead and bring them in. So there's all sorts of different stories that go with it. But the veil is thin, and we could celebrate and talk to the ancestors. How
did they figure out that was the day or the time that it was the thinnest? How did they figure that out?
Because you can see it.
Is it just more of the psychic mediums could see it easier that time of year?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, how did they in olden days do anything? Have such exacting astrological stuff? They didn't have computers. They didn't have telescopes. How did they do that? They looked inside. They didn't have to have a telescope with either connection with spirit, divine, God, whatever you want to call it, aliens. But the veil is thin at Halloween, so they're seeing ghosts. That's why you light the candle and you put you're seeing spirits at that time. Just like on May 1st, half a year away, May Day, the veil is thin also, but it's not to celebrate the dead, it's to celebrate life. That's the day the fairies are holding up the veil instead of for the dead, and that's why you dance around the maple and you celebrate. It's kind of a frisky holiday. Music and sex and dancing and celebrating. We made it through winter and it's spring and it's time of life and creativity. But you can see the veil is thin.
And how, because we have made this holiday very commercial. The candy, the costumes. What are the spirits, or do they even care that we celebrate the way we do? Because we're not very many people are actually celebrating the dead. They're just celebrating a day they can go drink and dress up and eat candy. My dad used to have instead of trick or treat, it was trick or drink. But so how do the dead feel about how we celebrate?
Well, I cannot speak for all of the dead,
right? But
as a general rule, I think they think it's great. I mean, again, people are the same. When they die, they don't become, I'm suddenly enlightened.
right.
Uncle Bob is Uncle Bob. Right. They usually do get a slightly higher perspective, though. Almost like literally, is it higher because you're in the heavens looking down? So those little things go away. I think they like, we're celebrating. They don't care. We're not dissing them. I think they really like it if we do put up a picture of Grandpa or talk about him or have a dumb supper, which is one of my favorite things to do, is something a lot of people do on Samhain. That's a dinner for the dead, the backwards
set a
dinner.
Plate.
Well, yes, that's an offering, set a plate. A dumb supper, silence, not dumb, is a backwards dinner.
Oh.
It's because the other side is reversed image.
So we eat the dessert first?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You eat dessert.
Then I must do a dumb supper
every day. Yeah, a dumb supper, again, a lot of people do it on Samhain or Samhain Eve to celebrate dinner for the dead.
Right.
So you start with dessert, and then you have your main course, you're into your super salad or appetizer. And again, they will join you because it's their dinner. What I even do it more than Samhain is when somebody it's done a lot of places, not so much in the U.S. When somebody has died, our loved ones, at or after 40 days, that's the transition time. Do a dumb supper for them. I did it for my mom, my best friend. Again, you could set a place for them like that, or a glass, and talk, I miss you, this and that, good times, bad times. Somewhere in that dinner, go silent for just a few minutes. Some people do the whole dinner silent. That's hard in our thing. And I like more when you talk. Just, okay, be silent for 2 minutes. Can we? I don't know. But silent, and they will communicate to each person there to your own comfort level and ability. And then you start talking again. You can talk about what you felt or experienced. And if you're doing a dumb supper for somebody who's just passed, or even 40 years ago, but as long as at least 40 days. And then you let their fleshly self go. If it is somebody recently dead, you let them become spirit grandpa, not dead grandpa, because you can have a relationship with spirit grandpa. Not the only thing that dies is this meat suit. Science has proven soul doesn't live, spirit lives, but the meat suit goes away. So if you're trying to hold on to that, we have cords, heart to heart, in all of us. We use that terminology, cut the cords, no strings attached. Living to living. When somebody dies, that has to be clipped. And now it's a third eye cord. And now you could have that better with spirit grandpa. It helps him because he could be free and know you're okay, helps you. And if you want to have a living conversation with him, you could have better. So, but you always have to wait 40 days. 40 is an astrological. 40 days it's actually biblical. It's actually lunar.
40 days and 40 nights?
It's planetary. 40 days and 40 nights. Lent is 40 days. Jesus, 40 days. Moses, 40 days. Noah, 40 days. 40 is 40 from here to there. It's some planet. I don't even know what planet that goes. So they're busy that first 40 days.
What's funny is, not funny, but my mother passed away actually October 30th. 4 years ago.
Samhain Eve.
But I thought maybe it was so thin that was when it was easier for her to let go.
Could shoot 100% true.
Yeah.
That's pretty beautiful.
Yeah,
that is the time to celebrate, and it would be the easiest time, I would imagine, to
Yeah.
go. I love that.
Yeah, then I'll have to celebrate and do a
dumb supper.
A dumb supper. But like Mark said the same thing. I do that every day. Well, we only have about 5 minutes left. Patti, you have a lot of stuff coming up. You've been going to like Paracons and all kinds of stuff. And just so you know, everybody, I haven't really been promoting as much, but now we're going to start promoting it. April 1st, 2023, we're having the first annual Parapod Festival. You can go to parapodfestival.com. And Patti, hopefully, right, is going to be speaking.
I am there.
Here
Maybe
in Santa Clarita, California, on March 30th, we're going to have a stargazing at Vasquez Rocks. Maybe Patti can even do like some kind of ritual to open up the stargazing for us.
I would love it.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
Have you been to Vasquez Rocks?
I have not been to Vasquez Rocks.
I think there might be a portal there because Native Americans used to do rituals and stuff there.
I would love to do that. I've been hanging a bit with Andrea Perrin. She's one of the Conjuring, and she's all about
I'm interviewing her in 2 weeks.
You are going to love her. I was with her in Michigan, and I was just here this past weekend in Vulture City, and she goes out, she sings to them, and they come. She's like, you're out there, whether it's 40 people or 4 people or 1 person or 4, phones up, and it's like, oh, yeah. She's singing Nat King Cole, and here they come.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah. So, let's go do it.
Yeah, so for people, we're going to be doing it's a film festival, podcast awards, and also a conference. So there are going to be speakers and entertainment. I'm going to have entertainment in between the speakers. So get your tickets, and we'd love to have you there. But Patti, you have a lot more in between coming up. So can you tell people what you're going to be doing? Yeah.
Again, I've been on the road for 2 months and 2 more to go. This week I'm going to be in New York, upstate New York, at the Dark Waters Paracon. Anybody I think it's like Plattsburgh. I have no idea. Plattsburgh, New York. Dark Water Paracon. My friend Frankie Funk is putting on all sorts of cool people are going. I will be there. The next weekend I'm going to New Orleans for a week. You guys want to come play with vampires? Yes, and
Is
we
Father
just
Sebastian?
Of course, Father Sebastian, and we are now sponsored by AMC, the new Interview with a Vampire.
Oh my gosh, yeah!
I'm going to be hosting the Witches Ball Friday night.
In
New House of Blues. We take over House of Blues, New Orleans. Thursday's a meet and greet. Friday, I'm running the Witches Ball. Saturday is a Vampire Ball. Sunday is Babylon.
Oh my gosh,
that's got a lot of packing. Cool clothes across the board. My witchy clothes, your vampy clothes.
Right.
So New Orleans. After New Orleans, I'm going to be back, and I'm going to be Massachusetts Paracon. My friend Sam Baltrusis is doing that. That's the first weekend in December, I think, and then I'm heading off to an event in Australia. So come on down to Australia. Yeah.
G'day, mate.
Yeah. So go to my website, find my social media from there. And you can, I on my podcast now, I have this little segment called Where's Patty? And only so I could look on my calendar and know where I am. I wake up going, where am I? I'm in Nevada. I'm in Chicago. I'm in Mississippi. I'm in Missouri. It's fun.
The one place that I enjoyed, and I've been there a couple times, I love it, is Virginia City.
I just goes there, yeah.
That, I mean, because there's a lot of ghosts there.
A lot of ghosts.
If you've not been, people out there, go to Virginia City. You know, if you've watched the Ponderosa, Bonanza, the old TV series, they talked about Virginia City. We're going into Virginia City. It's an old silver mine kind of town, and it's up on the mountain, and it is so fascinating. And it's like this. You went back in time 150 years. Other than a paved road down the street, everything else is old.
and your rickety sidewalks, rickety staircase.
Yes.
I was there 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. PEX Paracon was there.
Some of your videos.
And my theory about mining towns is all the gold, silver, whatever. There's usually a lot of quartz. Everything's amplified, so spirits are amplified, so ghosts are amplified. Plus,
maybe that's why they are.
Yeah. Plus, big in life, big in death. I always say, Bob the Quiet Banker is Bob the Quiet Ghost. I'm going to go make my fortune in the mines, or the girl working. You're going to be a big ghost. So Virginia City's great. Everybody go there.
Loved it. But Patty, do you do? I know. On your website, do you do readings?
I do.
And do you also, I know you said you have classes.
I do. I have a school now.
Yeah, talk about that.
Congratulations. Thank you. Yes, because I just can't say no. We started.
Right.
Yeah, we call it a real life Hogwarts. We wanted it simple. It's super inexpensive. It's super affordable. And we teach, I have over 20 teachers on staff now.
Wow.
Which all forms of witchcraft, new agers that aren't witchy at all, crystals and Reiki and hypnosis. We have a werewolf now. And again, werewolves don't think they dress up in furry costume. It's a form of craft magic, paganism. Of course, Father Sebastian is my partner in the school. We have Catholic priests, demonologists.
Really?
Oh yeah, we are across. We don't tell you there's one truth. We tell you there's a million truths. You pick yours. So you want to learn spell casting from me, mediumship development, past life, animal familiars, and it again. Crazy affordable. If you just took one class, it's like $25.
Oh my gosh!
And it's on. But if you like it, and we do the Patreon, like for $10 a month, you get one class free. $20, you get two classes. So there's no excuse. And you get it, and it's Zoom, like everything.
Right.
But so there's people all over the world. I get to go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's tomorrow in Australia. and if you don't want to, you can't go to the class because it's 2 a.m. where you live in the UK. You get the on video the next day, and and you're with like-minded people.
Yeah.
So we have. You should come do a special thing. We have.
I would love.
We have
to.
the UFO people. We just got now Bigfoot cryptid people. We've got it all.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! You
and
just
experts in the field.
Gave me goosebumps.
Paranormal people who teach paranormal how to do it right. Stefan Brigotti's one of our teachers. Kadrick Olson teaches the Norse ways.
Oh, you sound like you already have my whole festival speakers.
Yes, and they would love it. So yeah, universitymagicus.com, MAGICKUS, universitymagicus.com. Check it out.
And then you also have Paraflix.
I have Paraflix. Yes, because we figured, and you have stuff coming too, but we figured everybody has seen all of our shows on Discovery and Travel Channel. So we started Paraflix. It's a streaming service, all paranormal streaming service. Paraflix.com, PARAFLIXX.com, and 80% new content.
That's great.
That we'll bring in horror films, and we have some spirituality. I want more of that growing, and some podcasts, and we call it the Netflix flicks of the paranormal.
I love
all
it.
Platforms, yeah.
Well, I'm so proud of you. You are just taking the bull by the horns and making things happen, and I love it. And that's why I love your positivity, and you always just seem to, make everything feel good about what you do, and in the witchcraft and psychic mediums, and you're just bring a light to everything you do. So thank you.
Life is fun. Humans are great.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
we are the oddest little creatures. It's fun.
But who wants to be, like I always say, who wants to be normal? Well, so you can go to pattinegri.com. That's PATTINEGRI.com. When is your podcast on?
We drop the Witching Hour drops on Mondays.
Okay.
Every Monday, all the platforms: Spotify, Audible, Podbean, everywhere. And my new The Witches Movie Coven. If you like movies, it's 4 of us witches all talking movies. Right now is just on YouTube and my Facebook page. The Witches Movie Coven. We have a Facebook page, and that's when it's live. So like with your show, people can chime in and say, I liked the movie, I hated the movie. And we are very opposites on things. Like Witches of Eastwick, we were so divided. I loved it. How could you not like a share?
Drama already.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, well, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in and asking your questions and just being a part of today's show. Please support Patti, and you can follow her on all her social media platforms.
Please.
Patti Negri, go to website, Paraflix, all this stuff, and we'll definitely have her back. But again, April 1st, 2023, come and see me, Char Margolis, Jimmy Church. I mean, the list goes on and on. Sheena Metal, Patti Negri, Father Sebastian said he will be there. Yay. And so please check it out. It's parapodfestival.com. And hopefully we'll see you there. But I will see you next week. And make sure you tune in on Wednesdays for Bonnie Burkert's show, Truth Be Told Transformation. And Robert Hensley, Monday. It will be back very soon. It's called the Minuteman Report. So until then, I'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye. This has been another episode of Truth Be Told. Thank you so much for watching. Recorded live at UBN Go Studios in Burbank, California. Join us on social media. Facebook, Truth Be Told Radio. Instagram, Truth Be Told Paranormal. Go to Truth Be Told Worldwide for more information on upcoming shows.